What if the very thing destroying everyone around you was actually saving you? What if the storm others were running from was the exact thing you had been praying for? Today's story is about a simple farmer. No degree, no wealth, no special power. But he had something most people spend their whole life searching for. He had the ability to see a gift where everyone else saw a disaster. In a small village, surrounded by dry golden fields, there lived a farmer named Rajan. Rajan was not rich. He had a small piece of land, an old wooden plow, and hands that had known hard work since childhood. Every morning, before the sun rose, Rajan would walk to his field. He would touch the soil, smell the air, and quietly say, "Thank you for whatever today brings." His neighbors thought he was strange. One summer, the village had been waiting for rain for almost 3 months. The earth was cracked, the wells were drying, crops were turning yellow and dying under the brutal sun. Farmers across the village were worried, angry, desperate. They gathered under the old banyan tree every evening, complaining, arguing, and blaming. "This is the worst year of my life," said one farmer. "We will lose everything," said another. "There is no hope," said a third. But Rajan sat quietly at the edge of the group. He said nothing. He just listened. And then he went home. That night, Rajan did something different. While others were worrying, he was preparing. He fixed the small channels around his field that guide water when it rains. He repaired the low mud walls that hold water inside. He cleared the dried leaves and stones that could block the flow. His wife watched him working late into the night by lantern light and asked, "Rajan, why are you doing all this? It hasn't rained in months. Everyone says it won't rain." Rajan smiled and said, "Everyone is looking at the dry sky. I'm preparing for the wet one." His wife shook her head but said nothing more. 3 days later, the clouds came, dark, heavy, and full, and then it rained. Not a gentle shower, a powerful, thundering downpour. It rained for 2 full days without stopping. The village woke up in panic. Farmers ran to their fields screaming. The water was rushing too fast. It flooded the unprepared fields. It destroyed crops that had no protection. Seeds were washed away. Months of hard work, gone in hours. People cried. People cursed the sky. First no rain, now too much rain. But in Rajan's field, something different was happening. The water flowed in slowly, guided by the small channels he had built. It filled his field evenly. It soaked deep into the dry, cracked earth. His crops, which were struggling, began to stand straighter. Rajan stood at the edge of his field in the rain, not running, not crying. He was smiling. His hands were open toward the sky, and quietly, he whispered, "Thank you." Weeks passed. The other farmers slowly rebuilt. It was painful and slow, but Rajan's harvest that season was the best in the entire village. His neighbors came to him, confused. "How?" they asked. "The same rain destroyed us and saved you. How is that possible?" Rajan looked at them and said something they never forgot. "The rain was the same for all of us. What was different was what we did while we were waiting for it. You spent those dry months in fear. I spent them in preparation. You saw the rain as an enemy. I saw it as a friend who was coming, just a little late." Gratitude is not just saying thank you when things are good. It is trusting that something good is coming, even when you cannot see it yet, and preparing for it, expecting it, believing in it. The village was silent. For the first time in months, they had nothing to complain about. Here is what Rajan's story teaches us. Two people can stand in the same rain. One calls it a flood, one calls it a blessing. The difference is never the rain. The difference is always the perspective. When we live in constant complaint, we close our eyes to opportunity. We see only what is going wrong. We miss what is quietly being prepared for us. But when we choose gratitude, even before the blessing arrives, something powerful happens inside us. We become ready. We stop wasting energy on fear and start using it for preparation. We stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What can I do with what I have been given?" Gratitude is not weakness. It is not blind positivity. Gratitude is the quiet, powerful decision to trust the process. Even when the sky looks dry, even when things look broken, even when everyone around you is giving up. So today, I want you to think about one thing in your life that feels like a storm right now. A difficult situation, a painful season, something that feels unfair, and I want you to ask yourself, what if this is not punishing me, but preparing me? Because the rain doesn't know the difference between a prepared field and an unprepared one. But you do. So prepare, stay grateful, and trust the rain.